Welcome to Box Recaps.
In today's video, we will be going through the 2022 movie Crawlspace. It's time to recall. Let's get started, turn on subtitles, and spoilers ahead. The movie starts and we are taken to a dense forest where we see some people cutting trees with chainsaws. We then see a truck stopping in front of a barrier, and on the barrier, it is mentioned that there should be no trespassing and no poaching. However, the truck driver comes out and right away gets the barrier out of the way and drives through. We then see the truck entering another area. The truck then comes to a halt and we see two police officers sitting in the police car and keeping an eye on what's going on. The man in the truck is named Vladimir, and he is approached by two masked guys who start beating him up. One guy named Sterling takes off his mask and Vladimir tries to fight back, but it does not turn out to be a good idea as Sterling goes on to shoot him right away. The other masked guy also takes off his mask and his name is Dooley. He asks Sterling why on earth did he do that, and Sterling says that he was coming at him so he had to shoot. However, when they take the bag out of his truck, Sterling is pissed to realize that the bag is empty. He gets pissed and shouts at Dooley to get rid of the body. We then see another man with a bag full of cash and the screen turns black. A man is seen talking to a toddler who is his son, of course. He then joins his wife in the lounge, who does not really seem too happy about their situation. She is worried that they are not doing well financially, and on top of that, her husband refuses to ask people for the money they owe because he thinks that those people are struggling. She then tells her husband Robert that she is going to do some work and make some money too, but he is not happy about it because he wants her to take care of their baby for the first couple of years, but she says that they need the income. He then tells her that he is going to talk to her about this later because it is driving him crazy. When he is at the gas station, he meets those two police officers and they are familiar with him. Jordan, the lady officer, tells him that they were asked to look for some missing trees in the forest, which they find ridiculous. Robert then tells Sheriff Higgin that his wife Carrie is not happy with him because he has been extending credits to everyone and now he refuses to ask them to pay him back. Robert drives on and his truck goes out of order when he is in the middle of the forest. He then gets his equipment and starts walking. In the meantime, a bald man named Tim Winter comes back from a jog and he is confronted by two masked men in front of his house. These two are Sterling and Dooley, and they tell him to get into the truck with them. In the meantime, Robert gets to the place he is supposed to work at, and after setting up his equipment, he right away crawls into a narrow space. The scene then changes to the forest where Jordan and the sheriff are again standing in front of a missing tree, and they are joined by an FBI agent named Helen who tells them that this is the doing of a very organized mafia, and they do poaching and other illegal stuff without any problems, which makes them millions of dollars, and these people do not even pay taxes. The sheriff is then called by another police officer, and when they go there, they find Vladimir's body. On the other hand, Robert crawls into the narrow space and gets to the place where he is supposed to fix the pipe. He puts on hands-free with loud music and starts working. Sterling and Dooley in the meantime torture Tim as they ask him for the money, telling him that they know all the tree cutting he has been doing, so he must have the money. He refuses to tell them anything about the money. Sterling tells them that they have been watching him for a long time and they know he has the cash. Dooley is then sent out by Sterling, and seeing the opportunity, Tim goes on to attack Sterling. However, he ends up getting hit in the eye, and then in a very brutal fashion, Tim is now wounded. All of this is going on in the same house where Robert is working, but he has no idea. He cannot even hear their loud screams because he is put on hands-free with his loud music. He finally gets the feeling that something wrong is going on. Through a vent in the floor, he sees Sterling and the other guys and hears them shouting. Sterling then goes on to kill Tim as well, and Dooley is pissed at him for doing that because how on earth are they going to find the money if he keeps killing people like this? Robert's face is smeared with Tim's blood because he is sitting right under the vent. Robert is horrified when he realizes what is actually going on. Just as Robert is about to get out of there, he finds the bag full of money, but he still wants to leave. When he gets out of the vent, he is seen by Sterling and Dooley shoots him with a crossbow. Robert, however, manages to get back inside the vent and locks the little door. In the process, he injures Dooley's hand as well. Sterling and Dooley then get back into the house, and Sterling tells Robert that if he gives them the money right away, they will just leave. Sterling asks Robert what he was doing out there, and he tells him that he is just a plumber. Robert then tells him that he does not know what money he is talking about, despite the fact that he knows the money is right there. Dooley's hand is badly wounded, so he keeps telling Sterling that he needs to go to a hospital. On the other hand, we also see Jordan talking about Tim Whitner's place being the nearest house to the area where the trees are missing. Helen goes to the sheriff and tells him that Tim Whitner has been running a timber business without anyone knowing, but Sheriff does not believe it. He tells her that Tim is a good man and that he is not going to allow her to destroy this man's reputation. Helen is, however, hell-bent on the fact that Tim Whitner is the one behind all those missing trees, but Sheriff keeps saying that he is a proper businessman, he would never do any such thing. Roberto, in the meantime, decides to tend to his wound and manages to take out the arrow. They then go to Tim's factory where they talk to a worker named Jeff, but he tells them that he does not know anything. In the meantime, Carrie also gets there, and she has been waiting for Tim Whitner as the bookkeeper. When they ask her, she tells them that she has been on maternity leave for a long time, so she would not know anything about it. Helen, however, says that Carrie is the exact person they want to talk to. Sterling, in the meantime, asks Robert how he is doing and says that he is hanging in there. Robert then tells him that he has got some money, and Sterling asks him how much money he has got in there. Sterling tells him to give him the money if he wants to get back to his kid and wife. Sterling tells him that he can trust them, but Robert, of course, does not trust them because they killed Tim right in front of his eyes and hit him with a crossbow as well. Robert goes on to say that the only way they can work something out is if they are willing to walk away. He will leave the money, they can get back and take the money. Sterling, of course, does not like that idea and goes on to shoot in the direction from where Robert's voice is coming. Sterling then starts trying to figure out where Robert is. In the meantime, Helen is with Jordan and Carrie. She shows her the numbers in her computer, which she does not like because she thinks some of the entries do not make sense. For example, the amount mentioned for the fuel is too much. Carrie then starts feeling uncomfortable, and she tells them that she is sure that Tim is not up to anything shady because she has been working with the man for as long as she can remember, so she does not want to talk to them anymore without talking to Tim first. They then come across a guy named Gerald who starts running when he sees Helen. They end up catching him and find drugs in his pocket. Helen goes on to ask him where he got the drugs from, and he tells her that he got them from Vladimir. Back at Tim's house, Robert decides that he is done being scared of these guys. He has made up his mind, and now he is going to fight these guys because he has realized that he cannot stay hidden in this place for a long time, and eventually they're going to find him. He goes on to take out his plumbing equipment and decides to use it against them. When Sterling is standing right above him, he goes on to turn on his electric drill and drills through his foot, making him scream in agony. After that, Sterling tells him that he is going to kill Robert. Robert, however, opens the vent, puts a bunch of cash on fire, and throws it out. When Sterling tries to put out the fire from the burning cash, his pants get caught on fire, and Dooley tries to put it out as Sterling screams in agony again. On the other hand, Carrie looks through the accounts when Jordan and Helen are gone, and she realizes that something shady is actually going on. There's a big amount of money that has come in and then gone out, and it has gone on back and forth. This is something which she, of course, does not consider to be normal, so she right away calls Jordan to let her know. Robert, in the meantime, tells Sterling that he knows very well that they are going to kill him whatever he does, so he has decided to fight for his life. He tells them that if they kill him, he is going to make sure with his last breath that all the money is burnt to ashes, and this drives Sterling crazy. Robert again goes on to give him the option to walk away and then come back saying he will leave him some money in that case. Robert tells him that he is a heartless machine of a man and they better not underestimate him. Sterling gets even more annoyed, telling him that he has no idea with whom he is trying to make deals with, to which Robert says that he is a plumber, so he deals with pieces of shit all day long. They again try to attack him, but Robert manages to scare them away with the electric drill. Jordan, on the other hand, gets to Carrie, and she says that she is shocked that Tim has been involved in some illegal crap. Carrie then tells her that Robert is also at Tim's, and Jordan says that she is going to bring in Tim to investigate him, and Carrie decides to go with her because she wants to check in on Robert. On the other hand, they end up finding a big gun. Sterling decides to draw Robert out by putting some poisonous gas into the crawl space, but it does not work, and they then decide to blow up the door to the small space, and there is a blast. The door is open and they think Robert is dead. Robert, however, saw what they were about to do, so he has managed to get to the other end of the crawl space. He has managed to save the money, too. Now that the door is open, Sterling tells Dooley to crawl in and bring him the money. Dooley is scared, but he motivates him and Dooley decides to crawl in. Dooley and Robert get into a big fight and Dooley manages to get the upper hand first. He even thinks that he has killed Robert, but Robert wakes up when Dooley is doing his victory dance. He then goes on to choke Dooley and Dooley stops moving. In the meantime, Jordan and Carrie get there and Jordan tells Carrie to stay in the car while she goes out to see what's going on. Carrie realizes that Jordan is actually a traitor. She is in league with Sterling and Dooley as she sees them talking. Sterling tells Jordan about the plumber and Jordan is pissed at him for not being able to take care of a simple plumber, and she is also pissed at him for killing Tim. She then takes him to Carrie and tells Carrie to come out of the car. Carrie comes out and Jordan tells Sterling that this is the plumber's wife. Sheriff, on the other hand, sent back up to Tim's place, and when Jordan cannot stop insulting Sterling, he gets pissed and goes on to shoot her. Robert also sees that his wife is there and he is horrified when he sees Sterling grabbing his wife. Robert then comes out, he has the money in his hand, and he tells Sterling that if he dared hurt his wife, all the money will be burnt to ashes. The sheriff has also gotten there in the meantime. He is not able to understand what is really going on. Just as Sterling is about to get his hands on the money, the sheriff goes on to shoot him from behind, and Robert also pierces the arrow through his neck, killing him right away. Both the money and his wife are safe now. Jordan is arrested, Dooley is also taken away, and Robert is reunited with his family. He is home with his family when he goes out to check his mailbox and finds a bag full of money. Sheriff is seen sitting in his van and he nods at Robert. With his family being really happy, the movie comes to an end. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.